became a woman, much like every other woman on this damn planet.
He's a liar. Mayor Khan is a liar.
So much for coming. People, especially from the media, are saying, why are you here? I'm here because I am a pink lady. I am a grandmother, I am a mother, and I care about my family, and that is why you're all here. If I look around at all the placards, they're all homemade. They're not like that lot over there that get their placards made for them from the socialist parties. We care. We are worried when we have dozens and hundreds of young men that may come from cultures that do not look after women. We have got every cause to be concerned. So, on behalf of all of you, I'd like to say thank you to the media for coming, because we need this exposed. We need this organisation shown for what it is. We are not far right. We are not racist. We are just very concerned mothers, grandmothers, and I have a message for Keir Starmer. And the message to Keir Starmer is this: don't you ever come between a mother and her child when she is trying to look after them. Because do you know what, Keir Starmer? It will not end well. People have said, how long are you going to do this? How long is this going on? Do you know what? Women have got grit. We will carry on until these people are not being put in hotels in our communities. We will carry on when we need to. So I'm thrilled to be with you. I will always be one of you, and thank you so much for inviting me to speak to you today.
Okay, so we've just heard some of the speeches that have happened outside now as well. Everything seems to be really above and board. There just seems to be genuine concern for children, women. Safety is the big key issue. There's nothing that anyone said that I thought would be untoward, but they seem to really be wanting to make a change and a difference. Now they said apparently that they're going to have a dance, so maybe it's going to turn into a jig, we don't know yet, but hopefully now we'll go to the opposite side and see if we can get some interviews. So now we're basically arriving here at the counter-protest then as well. Just standing behind me is Stand Up to Racism. So basically have the counter-protest here in opposition towards the Pink Ladies. Hopefully now we can get some interviews then as well and see what people are saying.
Gang, thank you so much for having me here. My name is Olivia Campbell Cavendish. I am a human rights lawyer, the founder of the Trans Legal Clinic, and as Sophia just said, I'm actually the first black trans woman to become a lawyer in the UK. And that, I think, sounds like a humble brag, but it's actually quite a worrying thought. When you think of the extent to which, at this state, the government, our judiciary, our legal system, the lengths in which it goes to exclude the voices of women, of all marginalised people, but particularly women. To think that trans people have never had a say, never been able to put across their experiences, their needs, and the gripes that our communities have in the legislative rooms and the courtrooms.
We need to keep this stretcher clear. Safely move, okay?
As remembered, unique to officers, a gentle warning to you. I see you're very close to us and not particularly close to the people over there who are far-right extremists. I do just want to let you know that we have many different skill sets within our ranks. I myself am a human rights lawyer with a specialism in public law and actions against the police, and I'm keeping my eye on you. Now, I don't actually have have a gender recognition certificate. The vast majority of trans people don't. I mean, I don't particularly care what my birth certificate says because I was in fact born male. And then I became a woman, much like every other woman on this damn planet. One last thing I'll say is we're currently taking the United Kingdom to the European Court of Human Rights. We brought an application against the ruling in for women Scotland, certainly not for us Scotland and the Scottish ministers in the case of MacLeod and the United Kingdom.
So pretty much seeing if I can get an interview with someone from the opposing side, Stand Up to Racism. On first impressions, I have to say, I don't know anyone here personally, but certainly people seem to be a lot more unwelcoming, strangely enough. The fact that, you know, people deliberately are trying to block your camera, I don't really get that. I think, you know, if you've got something to say, let people record it, and, you know, hopefully then you can decide for yourself. But I think directly kind of going over and, you know, immediately you're being suspicious, or people are suspecting that, you know, you've got ill intentions, when of course you're just trying to go about, see if you can do a fair or balanced job about it, is quite interesting. So strangely enough, this particular side is not as nice. Police are a lot more guarded around here as well. We actually were standing on one side, but they basically told us that to move from the footpath, perfectly fine, that's legitimate, I have no problem with that whatsoever. But then there's no real seeming to be able to kind of go into the crowd. It kind of very much does seem like you're either part of them or you're not part of them, while I think it's just better, you know, to mix and mingle freely and see who's thinking what and let people speak for themselves. But hopefully that'll change, and it's not more than the first impression. Hello friend, how are you? I just come here and see what's going on today as well, trying to get from the Pink Ladies and from the Stand Up to Racism side and just interview, see what's going on.
Okay, who do you work for?
No one, just myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know people have asked me that again today, but yeah, no one, I'm afraid. Yeah, what are you here for today anyway, if you can tell?
No, it's okay, I just wanted to know what you're doing.
Hello friend, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm looking for the far right. Where are they? They keep saying this world is far right, but I'm looking for them. I want to interview them.
For me, brother, I think it's more just, I just want to talk to people as individuals.
Yeah.
I believe when I was listening to a clip years ago by the American comedian George Carlin, he says, the individual I love, it's the group I get wary about. Just turn around and talking to people as your brothers and sisters, sitting down chatting, rather than insulting, rather than, I don't see how that moves people together.
At the end of the day, what you just say, I agree 100%. If you cannot sit down and have a discussion rather than insulting, these people haven't got a clue of what are those other people concerned, isn't it? We are concerned about our children and the way the country's gone. I mean, look at what's happening. Even today, a Labour supporter at the conference was thrown out because he didn't agree. He was in there, he made a speech saying that practically what you and I are talking about, and he wasn't allowed back in. Matthew something, anyway. He was part of the press, he was a Labour supporter. They throw him out this morning, or yesterday, whatever, yesterday also. May that make sense.
Can I ask you a question, sir? What is your reason for coming down here today? Are you trying to look at both sides?
Right. I'm an immigrant. I came in 1976, okay? I've seen this country going from a beautiful country that welcome everybody into this madness, you know, that they're trying to destroy the country, honestly. And by the way, I'm leaving because I'm Italian and I got a place in Italy, and my son lives in Dubai. He left London to go to Dubai because of this mess. It's not safe anymore in London. When the mayor of London is being asked by the assembly member, what do you think about the grooming gangs, and he's acting as if nothing, when the whole world is talking about what's going on in towns all over the country, and he's pretending that nothing is happening. That tells you something, okay? And by the way, the mayor of London has destroyed London in 3 terms. Yeah, look at the roads, LTNs, cameras, you know. And well, anyway, he did the Euler's expansion 2.5 years ago. It doesn't tell you that there is 500 millions of unpaid fine and these people will not pay a penny, okay? It doesn't tell you that there are areas like Biggin Hill, Hillingdon, Bromley, there are absolutely no camera because the minute they put them up, they were chopped down by the Blade Runner, okay? So there are areas with no cameras at all. It doesn't tell you that people like me have been fighting for the injustice of the ULEZ expansion. By the way, my car is compliant, yeah? But this is his agenda. He wants to pursue his agenda of net zero and all that rubbish. But it doesn't tell you the truth. He came out with a report of the clean air and there are no cameras in most of the town outside London because it was unfair that he charged £12.50 for people that cannot afford to buy a new car. So tell me how you're going to clean the air if you can still pollute. He's a liar. Mayor Khan is a liar. And he never answers any question. You watch the London Assembly. He belittle women, okay? And he never answers any question. Why? Why don't you answer question? He's such an arrogant, divisive mayor. Who voted him in? That's when I get suspicious. Because he's not doing a good job, is it? Or do you think he is?
Okay, so we've heard a bit from, oddly enough, from seems the same side. I was trying to get an interview with those two women, but they didn't seem to want to. Funnily enough, there was one man who was there, and he had a lot to say. And strangely enough, you know, seemed to say similar things. You have to sit down and talk to your brothers and sisters. If you're insulting people, it doesn't really seem to be beneficial at all for anyone. We're going to go back over now to the Pink Ladies and see what's going on there now.
And no one knows what to do with you. When Stand Up to Racism sees me, they can label me as far right. When they see you lovely ladies, they have to walk. Politics right now is evolving to a point where women and children are now become the legitimate voices of local communities, and it demonstrates that the Labour and Conservative Party has unfortunately been complicit in an idle government of immigration. If we had a backbone, we could drastically decrease antisocial behaviour by mass deportations and controlled migration. And if it has to take a 17-year-old who has been arrested twice for covering these protests, that means I'll have to be the individual with a backbone to actually sort out this mess. So Pink Ladies, continue your work and God bless you.
Well, at least this side has a sense of humour, I guess. So the other side, the counter-protest Stand Up to Racism, have basically decided to leave. And as a parting gift, this is what the Pink Ladies have decided to play for them. I'm a big believer that you have to sit down and be willing to talk to each other.
Yes.
And I just said to another lady a minute ago, I tried going over there and wouldn't get an interview.
Have you seen the lady on YouTube, Mason Boogie? She's a black lady.
Right.
She went up to Stand Up to Racism and said she was a black
I
lady.
like, yes.
And they wouldn't speak to her. They don't know why they're protesting. They're paid for it. They don't know what they're doing. You can ask them, most of them have got mental health issues. Yeah, they're unemployed, or that's the only job they've got, is to professionally protest.
My thing here as well today, anyone that I've talked to so far has come up with what I believe to be quite a sensible answer, which is we have concerns. If I could sum it up accurately, we have concerns and it's to do with safety.
Yeah, I live in Epping.
Okay. Can you tell people who might not know what's been going on there?
Well, they moved 120, maybe 150 men into a hotel 200 yards from a school, and a girl got assaulted and the man has been charged. And also there was another man in there who started a fire in a previous hotel and got moved to that hotel. And there's also a man in there who's just been charged for 16 weeks for assaulting people in there.
For attacking the staff, I believe.
At the staff and other men in there, yeah. And it's not safe. There's around there at night. I used to always walk my dog. Didn't bother me. Now I don't feel.
One thing that did strike me from going over to stand up to racism is they were talking in part about trans issues. Now, what I don't understand is no one here is debating that or not debating that. I don't understand how that's a coherent counter-argument. Do you then have personal concerns about police doing a good job as well?
I'm more concerned about the police and the government than I am about stand up for racism or counter-protests or protests. It's about the government and it's about the police, two-tier policing. It's just so, I've seen it too many times.
Did you see the clip that was going around from the Free Speech Union about an American lady? She was a cancer patient, 2 kids,
yes,
and the police
came in about her putting a tweet on X or something.
I just think we can clearly prioritise other things above that. If it's deeply a concern, you could understand, but clearly I don't think that language that you may find offensive should be a priority.
We should all be allowed to say what we want. Free speech. We're a free country, so we should be allowed our own opinions. They want us to all think the same and be the same. We're not. We're all individuals. Everybody's got their own different views. You know, I'm not against immigration. I'm not against people working here. I'm against 1,000 men a day coming who have no respect for women. That's my concern.
Is it just fair to say then as well that in terms of safety, you just want to know who's coming in? And when you can't know that, it'd be like, as people would said before,
they're
classically.
They're illegal to start with. They're illegal. We can't go to another country without a passport and a visa. So why are they coming here? That's my question. Why are they allowed here where we can't travel anywhere without a passport or a visa? We can't go anywhere. We won't be allowed in. We'd get deported. If your visa's out of date, you'll get deported from whatever country you're in. Yet we're not doing it here. Come here and work, put into the system, but people aren't joining communities. Certain types aren't joining the communities. They're isolating themselves. And I've lived in a community. I grew up in a little village. I know what a community is, you know. But London doesn't really have a community. Not London, it's not here. Where we are.
In terms of Parliament, maybe not.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sister. Have a lovely day. God bless. Yes, it's just another interview again from another lady who's with the Pink Ladies. And again, just the same arguments, you know, just a genuine concern for safety for women and children. Sounds perfectly legitimate. And then on top of that then as well, wanting to make sure that they know who's coming in. And that if you, by definition, come in illegally, you are in fact a criminal to begin with. And that they have deep concerns, obviously, that's what's happening. They obviously had brought up sexual assault charges of a man who was in the Bell Hotel in Epping. A man who then had burnt, I think, a hotel room, I believe, and then got moved to another hotel. And then the other part then as well, I'm trying to think of the other case now as well. Hopefully it'll come to mind. But they just seem to be the same kind of arguments again and again, that people just seem to be legitimately concerned. Seem to have, actually, this last lady seemed to have more distrust in the police than anyone, and doesn't actually feel safe with the police force actually who should be protecting. They seem to have a complete distrust that obviously enough isn't being done, and that actually in fact they need to do a lot more for the community and for people who are already here, British citizens, and people who are living here, working here, should obviously be protected and feel safe in their own community. The opposition have now fully left. I was trying to understand their side in terms of, they said stand up to the far right were some of the signs, stand up against fascism. They had talks about trans rights. I'm unsure why this is relevant in terms of safety and protection of women and children, but maybe someone can reach out in the comment sections or something like that, and maybe explain a bit more, because obviously I can't be at all places at all times. I admit my own limitations, but hopefully we can find out a bit more about why people are here. But again, what's most interesting is yeah, of course everyone doesn't want to be on camera, that's totally legitimate, but people here seem to be a lot more open to being interviewed, talking, and just saying how they feel. And I think that's really it. I think the key really is dialogue. If you can't sit down with people, same or differing opinions, then what's going to be left? You have to be willing to sit down and say, this is why. Can you not understand this point of view? Can we not understand? You might not agree, but you can agree to disagree. And that seems to be a little bit lost, I would argue, certainly from my perspective, from the Stand Up Against Racism side. Certainly not very welcome. There seems to be an immediate distrust, and I do understand. I have a camera, I have a microphone, it looks a bit more official maybe, and maybe there's no more to it. And then there's that thing of, oh, we don't know who you are, but you don't know who anyone is, Paston. That's the whole point. That's the point of it being open to interviews, so that we can get to the bottom and understand a variety of opinions, and then it better informs the audience. But unfortunately that just didn't seem to take place. I did try, but again, like I said, just being blocked up by opposition's placards, people just kind of coming up and putting more in your face, not really engaging, not making eye contacts. I wouldn't necessarily say friendly, and wondering what you're doing, but suspiciously, rather than just coming up saying, look, if you're recording something, would you mind if I said my piece, and this is why I'm here? Perfect, that would help. But when you're silent, or you decide we're not going to talk to you, that doesn't help. That just weakens your own side. So if anyone is out there watching this and thinking, no, I know exactly why we're there, please by all means do reach out, send in the comments, something like that. It would really, really help.